Looking at the wisdom for the day from my trusty calendar. Those who dream by day are cognizant of many things, which escape those who dream only by night. It's Edgar Allan Poe. And those who dream by day are cognizant of many things, which escape those who dream only by night. So, what does that mean to you? And could that be part of your practice today? What dreams will you let bubble up as you move the energy through your body for your practice? What dreams have you been suppressing that you've decided for some reason that wouldn't come true? Can you start to give them some faith again and believe in your dreams? Those who dream by day are cognizant of many things which escape those who dream only by night. Edgar Allan Poe. I like that one. Good wisdom for the day. Any day, really. So we're going to just have to start. Sitting on your mat. I have a mat. You don't have to have a mat. You could just be in your floor of your living room, right, or your bedroom. But find a way to feel grounded through your sits bones to the energy of the earth. Right? Even if you have foundation and floor and everything between you and the earth, there's that sense of gravity, that pull, and you can begin to connect with the energy of the earth up through the sits bones, lifting up through the spine, balancing the head right above the rib cage and shoulders, and relax in the arms. Now, you can do a number of things with your arms, whatever's comfortable, right? And I don't want anything to feel contrived or forced. So simply having your hands at your side is perfectly fine. Having your hands on the knees, palms up, is a wonderful way to bring in whatever the universe has for you. It's a sense of you're open to whatever comes next. What I also like about it is it puts my shoulder in some external rotation, so I get a little twofer versus being in an internal rotation where we spend most of our day, whether we're driving or typing or just sitting on our couch, right? So coming palms up helps to counteract some of that internal rotation. And closing your eyes. If eyes closed makes you feel anxious, right? Then it's perfectly fine to have the eyes slightly open with a downcast gaze. And letting the breath just be natural. In and out through the nose. Not feeling like you have to fix your breath, just notice it. Right? Just start out noticing. Be an observer of your body and what you feel. And keeping the tall spine, letting those shoulders relax, let the jaw release. Eyes are soft. Perhaps putting some mental energy on those dreams. The dreams that we need to let bubble back up. That need to find the light of day again. And then paying attention to the breath. If you find that your inhale is longer than your exhale, see if you can balance that out. How many counts the breath is would be individual for you. Maybe it's 4 counts on an inhale and 4 counts on an exhale. If you want to make the exhale slightly longer to help relieve tension and calm the mind and body, do. And taking 3 more breaths with those eyes closed or with the downcast gaze. And it's after your 3rd breath that you'll slowly begin to open the eyes. And we're going to begin with some gentle movements of the spine. So making sure that you haven't lost the height in your spine, right? That you're lifting up and out and away from your pelvis, and the crown of your head's reaching to the sun. As we inhale, we're going to lift the arms up. Somehow feel as this is helping you grow just a little bit taller without shrugging the shoulders. And as you exhale, twisting to the right, so that left hand's going to come down to the right knee, and the right hand can just rest behind you. And making sure that this feels gentle, that you're not torquing your spine, but just gently twisting. Not using the arms to wrench yourself into any particular position, but using those core muscles to make the rotation happen. So keeping the chin level, and if it feels okay to look back over the right shoulder, you can. So nothing extreme here, just beginning to move. Let's take another breath in the rotation, and then slowly begin to unwind. Oh, there goes my dream. It'll come back. We'll rest the hands. Take a moment in your neutral spine, and then let's inhale. Let's lift up again. Find that sense of length in the spine. Become your tallest self. And then as we exhale, rotating the other way. Right? You may immediately notice that you have more rotation one direction or the other. So just, again, we're being an observer of our body. Don't feel like you have to force one side to be equal. It's through force that we sometimes have injury, and we don't want that. And keeping the chin level. Maybe turning the head and looking back if that feels okay. Let's take another breath in this rotation, and then slowly begin to unwind. And coming back to center, finding your neutral pelvis and spine, bringing that head back. I noticed mine was starting to drift forward. Notice if yours is too. Bring it back on top of the shoulders, on top of the rib cage. And then next we're going to go into some lateral flexion of the spine. So our spine is kind of our energy highway. Right? And the ability to be able to move the spine is really important. Your level of spinal movement, of course, is unique to you, and particularly if you've had injury or surgery, you might be restricted. Right? So just find what feels okay for you, never forcing anything. But we do want to move the spine as best as we can with whatever limitations that we do have. I'm also a Pilates instructor, and one of the things that I've always loved was something Joseph Pilates said. Basically, you are as young as your spine is flexible, or you're as young as your spine is mobile, which is true, right? You see young people that seem very old because of how they're holding themselves. And I've seen older people that seem younger because of their ability to move their spine and have a good posture. So something to keep in mind. All right, so we're going to go into our lateral lateral flexion. I want to start again with the length of the spine, right? So getting that a sense of height and space between the vertebrae, as if we're like pumping and plumping up those discs. We'll take that inhale and lift up. And then on the exhale, we're going to side bend over to the right, letting that right hand come down on the floor to support you, and that left arm reaches up and over. So again, nice, just gentle lateral flexion. But think about some of the details here, right? You want to keep this left hip down, so don't let it lift up off of the mat. The left shoulder may have a tendency to roll a little forward. Try to keep it back and in line with your right shoulder. And that arm reaches. Now, shoulder issues are common, right? So if reaching is just not with it today, you certainly could bring the arm down and gently place on the right lap and still have that side bend, right? Or if you need to have the arm more up just to get a little bit more sense of length along the side, great. And then again, if it's okay to reach to the opposite side of the world, to do that. Not sinking into your right shoulder. Maybe looking up if that's okay. We'll take another breath here. And then inhaling, we come back up. And as we exhale, just allow the arm to drift back down. Taking a moment and continuing with the other side. So we'll inhale, we'll lift that right arm up. And exhale, side bend. And just kind of quickly going through the details of it. But then tapping into what you feel. Where can you feel strength? Where can you feel softness here? Let's take another breath here in this side bend. And then we'll inhale, coming back up. And exhale, the hand down. And some simple seated cat-cow. So we'll pause here for a moment in our neutral spine, neutral pelvis, and then bring our hands to our knees. So some seated cat-cows is flexion and extension of the spine, some movement of our pelvis as well as through the shoulders and the head. Right, so it's all kind of working together like I think of it like a symphony, and all of our bones and muscles are instruments working together to create something beautiful. So we'll have our hands on our knees. We'll take our inhale, and as we inhale, the pelvis is going to tilt forward, right? The spine reaches forward, the heart is lifting up, and the throat gently opens. You're not throwing your head back, but just gently lifting, maybe looking up. And then as we exhale, pull the navel in a little deeper towards your lower back. Let the pelvis tuck under. It rocks back. Your spine begins to round. The chin comes in toward the chest, and the shoulder blades gently come away from your spine so you get a little stretch to the shoulder girdle. And then again, we just take our inhale. So moving that spine and what feels good for you. So no pain, but mobilizing as best we can. And getting that energy highway running. Right? No blockades. Inhale. And exhale. I like to have my hands on my knees. I actually use that as a little bit of leverage, so I'm kind of pulling on my knees right now as I round back. And as I inhale and come up, it's a gentle push down on the knees. But I'm not feeling any pain. We'll do one more time. Let's take that exhale, round back. And inhale, lifting back up. Good. Now we've been in this seated position for quite a while, right? Let's at least unease. So I'm going to just turn onto my mat. Take my legs straight out. Now I say straight. I don't want you to feel like they are stick straight, or certainly that you're not hyperextending your knees. If you have a tendency to hyperextend your knees, you may want to take a little blanket towel or something and just do a simple little roll to support back behind your knees so you don't go into that hyperextension. We've got our leg bones, right? Our shins, thigh bones, let's say our knees, all pointing straight up. So we're not allowing them to fall in or fall out. The feet about hip distance apart and a little flexion at the ankles, and the toes are pointing up. And we're going to sit up tall. Right. Now sitting up tall is more important than knees bent. You'll notice as I sit up tall, I haven't moved a lot this morning, so my hamstrings are a little tight. My knees needed to come up. Perfectly okay. Better to have that nice neutral pelvis than to feel like legs have to be straight and it forces that pelvis to rock back. So belly is pulled in. We'll once again take our inhale. And as we exhale, come into a forward fold. But you move from the pelvis and through the heart. So don't think of rounding the back at all. And then just to let the hands succumb to the shins. So I don't want you to feel like the aim of this is just to see how close you can get your head to your feet, because it's not. It's turning and shifting the pelvis on the top of those femurs to get some true stretch here for the glutes, right? Some stretch for the hamstrings, even if there's some slight bend in the knee. And this is core work, right? If you just relax your core, you would come into this kind of slouch, right? But we're going to use the back muscles, important, and our lower belly pulling in and up, and this is going to support our spine in this neutral position. And checking in with your breath. Let's take one more breath here. And as we inhale, sitting back up and just sliding the hands up. And then we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. So a hip opener, I am able to bring my feet relatively close to me. I don't have any issues with my knee joints. That might not be true for you. If you need to be farther out, you can. Some people also feel tugging at their hips or their knee joints because gravity is just uncomfortable for them here. So you may want to grab yoga blocks if you have them, or a pillow to put underneath kind of each knee and thigh to help support you. Again, wanting to sit up tall, thinking of that neutral pelvis not being rounded. We'll take our inhale, open through the heart, and then exhale, come down. Again, we're working our core, trying to keep the back flat. It's not getting my head to my feet. It's making my pelvis tilt forward, my spine come down on a diagonal. My head's just a natural extension of the spine, so it's not dropping off either at this time. Let those shoulders be back and down. You can use a little arm strength to pull yourself down a little bit, but not overly forcing things. We're going to take another breath and then simply begin to round. And allow the stretch to happen. Let's take another breath here. And then as we inhale, we sit back up. We'll close out the legs. Beautiful. to come into our final, to our Shavasana. So this morning we were just moving our spine a little bit to get the energy moving, opening up the hips a little bit where we hold on to tightness and we create a lot of restriction. It's where we hold on to physical tension, yes, but also emotional tensions and traumas we shove down into our hips. So just kind of loosening that a little bit and working through the shoulder joint. So just a quick morning, gentle energy mover. But coming down for our Shavasana. So move my little battery pack here. So legs are going to be out and toward the corners of your mat. Again, blankets or pillows can be underneath the knees if that's more comfortable. For some folks, legs out causes their pelvis to tilt up and they hyperarch their low back. If that's you, put towel or blanket underneath those knees. Arms come out to the side, palms facing up to receive, closing the eyes. And listen to the breath. The rhythm of the breath. So with each breath, allowing the body to soften, the mind to relax, allowing outside world pressures, thoughts, keep them off of your mat, trying to stay focused on your breath. You're giving in to gravity, allowing the earth to hold and embrace you. The muscles can let go. We're allowing our body to absorb that movement that we created in our body and our energy source. Rejuvenating us. Begin deepening the breath, maybe adding some gentle movements, circling the feet around the ankle or wiggling fingers, toes. Connecting breath and body. And rolling on to one side for a breath. And then slowly coming back up to sitting. Closing the eyes still, maybe bring your hands to your heart. So as you start your day, what dreams do you want to bring to life here in the day? What small steps can you take to make them come true?